be creative stamping. Today, I'm going to share with you 10 great reasons that you need the Everyday Label Punch. Just in case you haven't seen the Everyday Label Punch, it can be found in the Stampin' Up! Holiday Catalog over on page 12. And you're going to find the punch about midway down the page. And as you can see, the Merry Little Labels coordinates with this punch. I also found 2 other stamp sets that can be used with the Everyday Label Punch. Right here, Labels to Love, and you can actually see the shapes here. This is the Everyday Label shape. And you can also find the Spooky Cat stamp set on page 53, and that too uses the Everyday Label Punch. As you can see from the chart that I've created, these are 10 great reasons why you need the Everyday Label Punch. First of all, you know how wonderful and easy it is to use our punches, even upside down. So I am going to punch this shape so that you can get a good look at it. This is what it looks like. And I'm going to give you the first reason why you need this punch. We are going to use the Stampin' Trimmer for quite a few of these, and I'm actually going to zoom in so that you'll be able to see what it is I'm doing. Here's the Everyday Label Punch. I'm going to go in, and depending on how big I want my tag to be, I'm actually going to put this half circle on the 1/2 inch line, but you can actually put it anywhere. And I'm going to use the cutting blade, and I've trimmed that off. I'm going to use the 1/16 of an inch handheld punch, and we still carry it in our annual catalog. And if you look, I've now created a gift tag, a little off center there. So you might want to watch that when you go to create that hole. All right, reason number 2. We're going to need another one of these. So let me punch this out. And we're going to put it in the Stampin' Trimmer. I'm really going to zoom in now. And right where you see this groove right here is what you're going to pay attention to. And you want to line up these points on that groove. And then you're going to trim off the 1/2 circle. You're going to turn it around to the other side and do the very same thing and trim that off. And now you have another new shape. Reason number 3, I've punched out an everyday label with very vanilla cardstock, and I've also have an old olive everyday labels punched out as well. And I am actually going to just cut this in half, just like this. You can use the Stampin' Trimmer, but you don't have to. I'm going to add a little bit of adhesive right along the edge here. And then I am going to add this little layer right here. And this is reason number 3. Now, reason number 4, let's go ahead and add the other side. And I'm going to make it about the same as the other side. And we have a new look. Reason number 5, we're actually going to create a layer, and so I am going to apply the snail adhesive right in the center of this shape, and then I am going to center this just like this. And now you have another shape, and it can actually go in either direction. I'm going to cut this label in half, and if you notice on the trimmer, it actually fits quite perfectly between these lines. So this line right here is on 3/4 of an inch, and this one is also on 3/4 of an inch, okay? I'm going to lay the guide right on top of it and hang on to it tight, and then I'm going to take my trimmer and cut it in half. Now, once I do that, I can add it to this label. So let's turn this over and put a strip of snail on each side. And then I am going to layer them like this. Let's see how I want to do this. Yeah, that'll work right there. And I'll take the next one and do the very same thing. Reason number 7, I'm going to put in the very vanilla cardstock, and I would like to get just a little bit of this. And so I think I'm going to put it on 3/4 of an inch. Actually, I think that's going to be a little too much for me. Let me do that. I've got this line right here on the 1/2 inch guide, and I'm going to trim. And I want to do the same thing on the other side. So I'm going to go to the 1/2 inch. All right, and that is my guide. These are the 2 pieces that I am actually going to use for this one. And so here's the label. I'm going to use a little bit of snail, and I am going to attach this right in the center. Okay, I'm going to do the same to the other side. Reason number 8, you're going to need 2 of the everyday labels and the 3/4 inch circle punch. And this time I'm actually going to cut out these little circles. And so I'm going to go in with the punch. That's going to really be too far. So I want to go up till about there and trim that. And then I want to do the very same thing on the other side. All right. So this is now the shape that we have. I'm going to put some snail on the back. And then I'm going to just add this layer to the very vanilla label. And so here's this look. Reason number 9, and I think this one is my favorite. We're going to insert the label into the trimmer. And again, we're going to go back to this little groove right here, okay? And we're going to lay this edge right on that groove, and that's what the blade goes into. And then we're going to trim it, okay, and take that off. We're going to turn it around and do the very same thing. Again, these little edges need to be right on this, okay? And we're going to do the very same thing on this side. And when I do that, look what I get. Isn't that just the coolest? Reason number 10, here's one of the labels. I've punched it out, and now I'm going to insert it back into the punch. And as you can see right here, you could make this any size that you want. All right, let me zoom out. I'm going to show you that again. All right. Let's take the everyday punch, or the punch and the label, and here I'm inserting it, and I can make this any size that I want. Isn't that the neatest? Now let me show you one other thing you can do with it. Let's bring in the very vanilla, and I'm going to punch, let me punch this one about here, okay? And then I'm going to layer it on top of the old olive one that I just did. So now you can make these any size that you want. And now I'm going to take the smallest one that I created with you, and I'm going to layer it on top of the very vanilla. And this is a bonus reason why you will want to purchase the everyday label punch. I am using a rectangle that I have trimmed, and the measurements are 2 3/8 by 1 3/4. And then we're going to take the snail, and we're going to layer this label right on top. We're just going to center it all the way around. Okay? So that's what we have. And then I'm going to take 2 of the 3/4 inch circles, and I'm going to apply these to the back of this rectangle. And by doing that, you're going to see that I've created a bonus reason why you need the everyday label punch. Let me know if you have any questions, and thanks so much for buzzing by.